Arsenal awarded 3 points, a defining moment in the Premier League. In a stunning development that has sent shockwaves through the footballing community, the Premier League board officially announced this morning that Arsenal will be awarded 3 points following the controversial goalless draw against Nottingham Forest. This decision places the Gunners a remarkable 9 points ahead of their nearest rivals, Manchester City and Aston Villa. The backdrop to this announcement involves a critical VAR error that denied Arsenal a clear penalty, reigniting serious debates about officiating standards and VAR's role in high-stakes matches. A controversial match, Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. The match on date, featuring Arsenal against Nottingham Forest, was marked by tension and contention from the outset. With both teams having much to gain, the stakes were sky-high. For Arsenal, the potential for 3 points could have solidified their title aspirations. However, the game became infamous for a failure of officiating that would soon spark outrage and calls for reform in VAR usage. The denied penalty. In the 60th minute, what should have been a game-changing moment happened when Ola Aina of Nottingham Forest committed a clear handball in his own penalty area. Yet, despite the obvious nature of the infraction, referee Michael Oliver, with the aid of VAR, did not award the penalty. This decision raised significant questions about the credibility of officiating in the Premier League. The fallout. VAR admits error. Subsequent revelations that the VAR team admitted to a costly error circulated rapidly, leading to a fierce backlash among Arsenal fans, players, and pundits alike. FIFA's involvement became public when reports stated that they had imposed a 10-match ban on both Oliver and the VAR officials involved in the match, labeling the decision a blunder. This has amplified discussions regarding accountability and consistency in officiating at the highest levels of football. Fans and pundits react, outrage and discontent. The reaction was immediate. Arsenal fans took to social media to voice their frustrations, and former England striker Michael Owen publicly criticized the officials. "Wrong calls must be addressed regardless of club allegiance," Owen stated, emphasizing the need for fairness in sport. The indignation was palpable. Fans felt robbed of their rightful victory, and the integrity of the game was being called into question. An official reversal. Arsenal awarded the points. This morning's announcement by the Premier League to award Arsenal 3 points radically reshapes the league table. With this adjustment, Arsenal now stands 9 points clear of both Manchester City and Aston Villa, placing them in a commanding position for the title race. Implications for the title race. The implications of this decision are far-reaching. Arsenal's newfound points cushion alters not only their title aspirations, but also the strategies of Manchester City and Aston Villa as they chase the Gunners. The psychological impact on the teams will undoubtedly be profound, potentially affecting their performances in the coming weeks. Michael Oliver's apology, a call for understanding. In the wake of the controversy, referee Michael Oliver has offered an apology to Arsenal fans, expressing remorse for the oversight. He stated, "It was a clear penalty, and I'm really sorry for the mistake. We are all human and make mistakes. Please find a place in your heart to forgive me." He hoped to de-escalate tensions. However, this concession may fall short amid calls for more significant changes in the officiating framework. The VAR debate, consistency, and accountability. The incident has reignited ongoing debates about VAR's role in football. Critics argue for a reformation in how technology is integrated into officiating, with many asserting that the system, designed to enhance fairness, has instead contributed to confusion and inconsistency. Previous controversies. The Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal match isn't an isolated incident. Previous VAR controversies, such as the contentious decisions affecting Manchester City and Tottenham, highlight the challenges that accompany the introduction of technology. Each case amplifies the call for a more transparent and accountable officiating mechanism in the Premier League. The need for reform.
Reflecting on this series of events, the consensus amongst players, pundits, and fans is clear: reform is needed. Whether it's a shift in how VAR is utilized, adjustments to the training of match officials, or enhanced communication between match officials and fans, the goal remains the same: restoring trust in officiating. Calls for governance changes. Many advocates have begun pressing for systemic changes within football governing bodies. Introducing a more robust system for reviewing officiating decisions, potentially involving a panel of former players, coaches, and referees, could provide a pathway to greater accountability. A defining chapter. Arsenal's journey this season has taken a dramatic turn, inscribed in the history of the Premier League as an episode that underscores the complexities surrounding officiating in football. The awarding of 3 points paired with the VAR controversy will serve as a pivotal moment, inspiring discussions on integrity, accountability, and fairness in sport. As Arsenal fans celebrate this unexpected yet welcome decision, the broader implications for the Premier League and its officiating standards resonate far beyond the pitch. The essence of football, a sport driven by passion, emotion, and unyielding spirit, demands that the integrity of the game is upheld, sidestepping errors that could alter destinies both on and off the field. The calls for change echo louder than ever, setting the stage for a pivotal moment in the future of football.
Jamie Redknapp makes Arsenal claim after Aston Villa slump to Everton defeat. Jamie Redknapp says Arsenal were handed a big let-off after Aston Villa blew an incredible opportunity to apply some real pressure by falling to defeat at home to Everton. Tierno Barry kept his cool to beat Emiliano Martinez just before the hour mark, and the Frenchman's exquisite dinked finish proved the difference, with hosts Villa offering up next to nothing in response. Villa's woes were compounded by a worrying-looking injury to John McGinn, who was forced off with a suspected knee problem just 18 minutes into Sunday's gritty Premier League contest. Unai Emery cut a frustrated figure on the touchline at Villa Park, with his side missing the chance to go second in the table, following Manchester City's shock 2-0 loss at Manchester United a day earlier. It means Arsenal finished the weekend with an imperious 7-point advantage over their two title rivals, with Pep Guardiola's City sitting above third-placed Villa on goal difference after 22 games. Villa will hope to bounce back away to Newcastle next weekend, having dropped points in 3 of their last 4 matches in the English top flight. They couldn't have started any worse, obviously. Everton hit the post in the first few minutes, and you thought that might wake them up, get them going, Redknapp said of Villa's limp performance on Redknapp Talk. Redknapp was left scratching his head over Villa's really strange decision to allow Daniel Malin to complete a loan move to Roma in the week. Malin leaving in midweek felt a really strange decision when you look at that substitutes bench. They didn't have those options today. So yeah, a really tough one, but I'd also credit David Moyes. He knows what he's doing, that guy. He knows the former Liverpool, Tottenham, and England midfielder picked out James Garner, Harrison Armstrong, and Jack Grealish for special praise after Everton's unbelievable win. A magnificent performance from Moyes' team, he went on. James Garner in midfield, I thought Harrison Armstrong was exceptional. Jack Grealish kept good width, and he always gives you quality on the ball. To set a team up to be difficult to beat, and that's their best result of the season. Speaking to Sky Sports shortly after the final whistle, Garner hailed Everton's amazing display away from home against a very good Villa side. Arteta can end Odegaard's Arsenal career by unleashing their own Foden-esque star. It's been a Premier League weekend of mixed emotions for Arsenal. On the one hand, Manchester City were comprehensively beaten by their rivals on Saturday morning. It was a game to forget for the whole Arsenal team, but particularly Martin Odegaard, who could eventually see himself replaced by Arteta's own Foden-esque star. Odegaard's dire display versus Forest. Now, it should be said that Odegaard wasn't alone in letting down the fans and manager on Saturday evening. It was a game to forget for the whole Arsenal team, but particularly Martin Odegaard, who could eventually see himself replaced by Arteta's own Foden-esque star. Odegaard's dire display versus Forest. Now, it should be said that Odegaard wasn't alone in letting down the fans and manager on Saturday evening. However, his performance was more disappointing than most of his teammates, not least because, as captain, he should be held to a higher standard. However, for practically the entire first half, and for the time he was on the field in the second, he was wholly ineffective, bordering on anonymous. That might sound overly harsh, but it's an opinion shared by the Standard's Arthur Farage, who awarded the Norwegian a 4 out of 10 match rating, writing that he struggled to get involved.
Unsurprisingly, the Drammen-born ace's statistics more than back up such claims. Moreover, it's not the first time the former Real Madrid wonderkid is disappointed this season, having put in a similar performance against Liverpool in the last game week. In all, the whole team needs to step up their game for the rest of the season, and if Odegaard fails to do the same, he could eventually be replaced with one of Arteta's most exciting talents. The Arsenal gem who could replace Odegaard. While there is an argument for Eberechi Eze to come in and replace Odegaard in the immediate future, the player who feels like he could eventually end the captain's Arsenal career is Ethan Nwaneri. Sure, it's not going to happen this season, and it might not even happen next year, but for several reasons, the idea of the Hale ender eventually being the one to replace the captain does not feel all that far-fetched. The first is his positional versatility. Like his captain, the teenage phenom is someone who is most at home in an attacking midfield role, but does tend to drift ever so slightly out to the right. This was one of the reasons he was so good at covering for Bukayo Saka at points last season. For example, in 37 appearances, totaling 1,374 minutes, the young Englishman scored 9 goals and provided 2 assists. That came out to an excellent average of a goal involvement every 3.36 games, or more crucially, one every 125.77 minutes, which would be impressive for a seasoned professional, let alone a youth player. Moreover, it's this ability to pop up with goals, and some seriously impressive ones at that, which led to one analyst's claim that Ethan Nwaneri will be Arsenal's version of Phil Foden. Ola Aina pokes fun at Arsenal after VAR controversy as Man City star responds. Arsenal were unfortunate not to receive a penalty against Nottingham Forest as Ola Aina appeared to handle the ball inside the penalty area. Nottingham Forest defender Ola Aina has taken to social media to make a joke at the decision not to award Arsenal a penalty in their 0-0 Premier League draw against Nottingham Forest. Late in the stalemate at the City ground, Aina was involved in a handball incident inside the Forest penalty area. The right-back appeared to steer the ball with his arm near the byline to stop the ball from going out for a corner. Referee Michael Oliver did not award a penalty despite protests from the Arsenal players. VAR Darren England then proceeded to review the incident before concluding that the ball was played off Aina's shoulder first and that his arm was in a natural position. "We came here to win the game, and we haven't managed to do that for different reasons," Mikel Arteta said. It's a credit to them because they are really well organized and they are really good at breaking momentum when you have certain dominance in the game. But the players had 4 massive challenges as well, with Martinelli on open goal, Declan Rice attacking, Mikael and the header of Bukayo. On top of that, obviously, a very clear penalty in the box that has not been given. So without conceding a single shot on target, again, the fact that we haven't won the game is disappointing. And on top of that, I think we can do things better in certain attacking areas. Arteta also disputed the explanation why the penalty wasn't given, claiming the intention of the arm action was not right. The explanation is not right. The rest, the order of what it hits, is okay. The timing and the intention of the player is very clear. If not, I wouldn't be sitting here saying, in my opinion, it's a very clear penalty. On Sunday, Aina took to social media to post a reaction to the draw for Forest. He wrote, "Loved being back at the City ground in front of our fans," along with several images from the game. One of the pictures he included was a screenshot of the incident, appearing to show him using his arm to move the ball. Aina also posted a picture of wrestler Eddie Guerrero and used the audio from his walkout song, Viva La Raza. The song, released in 2016, includes the lyrics, "I lie, I cheat, I steal." Manchester City's Antoine Semenyo was one of the first to comment on Aina's post, replying with 4 laughing faces and nostalgia in a comment. Forest manager Sean Dyche told TNT Sports, "I think if these start to get given, we've all got to leave it. I think that's ridiculous. We've got to be careful with those. You know what they should be looking at? People feigning injury. That's the new diving."